I bought from different pubs and then had them crated and shipped over. The one on the far left has stopped working because it needs 240 volts. So I got to find someone that knows something about that. But obviously the other two are working just fine. This is all of the crew hats and commercial hats you can buy, or anything that's sort of clothing related. There's the Sankara stones. You can see they're busy blinking away.
Ah.
Yeah, and if I remove one, then they go dead.
Oh, wow.
And then as soon as you put them back in their base, they'll come back to life again.
Were they used in the film, or are these replicas?
They're replicas. Down here is a massive display. So that would be 4 feet left to right. I can't even know there. I guess
I can see it. I can see it.
So that's all the Lego sets, and these were placed into Toys R Us's with the pre-builds in them, so that obviously the kid would, see them. There's the little placards that then tell you what set number that is, and the mom would just look for the proper set on the shelf and grab it. So we'll go down this wall, artwork up on the walls. That's another Lego display from Germany, so it requires 240. That's a plaster cast off the Indiana Jones, I guess you call it animatronic at the Disney rides, and I just threw a fedora on his head. Replica of course, the Grail tablet, replica of the Grail Knight's shield.
Dude, you're insane, but it's really good.
The book, my wife, she just found a really cool knight helmet and gifted me that for Christmas, because sometimes we'll throw things in here. They have nothing to do with Indiana Jones, but they're sort of things we think he would find or want to preserve. The painting in his dad's house that shows the Grail Knight going for the walk. That is, if I turn this sideways, will that work? Let's see. Yeah, I guess so. That is a screen used uniform from Crystal Skull. That's a screen used uniform from Last Crusade, in the scene where Indy goes to Berlin.
Right. Can you actually just go back the other way, just because it's gonna be hard? Yeah, but yeah. Wow. Look at that. So
Funko.
Sorry, go on.
No, a beautiful. Well, I should start with, I guess, this one. So a fellow named Ron Hembling from Australia does these custom dioramas, and this one he put in a crate of Indy running from the boulder.
Oh,
and
my
goodness. And that's a 3 3/4 inch figure. Hopefully we're getting some of that. Oh, where are we here? Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
And he's running from the boulder. And so I joked with Ron for years of, oh my God, I love that. It's one of my favorite pieces. All I would need it is in Barbie size, meaning 12 inch instead of 3 3/4. And one day this showed up. So that's a 12 inch Indiana Jones running in the crate from a boulder. The thing is, it cost me a small fortune in shipping to get it from Australia.
Right, I bet.
Prototype of a VHS DVD display for Walmart that never went into production. This was the prototype that would have been made, and then Walmart changed their mind. More Lego displays from Target and Walmart in the States, the pre-builds, all the Lego, of course, up above. Everything in here, to give you an idea, is 10-foot ceiling. So all these shelving units that you see go to the ceiling means that's 10 foot worth of stuff. That's all the food product, meaning one of every package I could ever find from any brand of food that had Indiana Jones on it. So as we go down back to this wall again, it's a VLT from Japan on the right. And then the next two are pachinko machines from Japan. One in demonstration mode that you can see the little video playing on it.
Yeah.
And then the one on the left is actually a functioning one. The one on the right, because they had different backgrounds, so of course I had to have them both, is playable. And then the other one is just in demonstration mode. Another proposed DVD display that wasn't made, that the customer would walk between the arches there and you could see the fake little DVDs on the shelf. And here this is everything. It's the only area that got its own spot, is that the Japanese love Indiana Jones, and it never went away the way it did over here for a long time. There was always new merch, and especially at the Disney parks. So it ended up with its own area that's just Japanese items from the different Disney parks on those shelves.
Well, the Japanese are actually huge fans of Steven Spielberg. Like they have a
Yeah.
huge fan base over there.
Yep. This one is all the way up at the top to sleeping bags and some figures, toys, and then it's puzzles, and then miscellaneous concession and whatever. Over here was just some fun different pieces I liked, either mini busts or things like that. Down here is all the magazines, comics. If I can back up. And trading cards and everything in their boxes and binders, etc. Just the sketch cards alone, I think I own somewhere upwards of 500 original sketch cards from the trading cards. Of course, the part that people love is the Williams pinball machine. It's currently got artwork being flattened on it, but it's fully functional. An original 1984 Atari arcade machine. I just didn't turn it on because it's very loud. Over here are the map files, or otherwise known as architect map drawers. So there are 10 drawers with well over 500 posters. This is all new stuff that's come in that, and here it tends to get messy in the winter because I don't have a lot of visitors for good reason. So that gives me time to really start organizing and whatever. You know, I cleaned up as quick as I could for you today, so it wouldn't have things like literally everywhere, but that's all new posters and whatever. My one Star Wars item that I allowed in here is there's a life-size R2-D2.
Nice.
Books, and then my other sub collection is Uncharted, which of course was inspired by Indiana Jones. So there's shelves of that, or Tomb Raider. Sort of Uncharted ended up over here.
Crazy. Wow, man, I'm impressed.
There's a piece. There's a piece on the wall there. If you can see, that's George sitting in his desk, and he's absolutely surrounded by tons of his characters and creations. And originally the art didn't sell well, but he loves the artist. So the little change they made is George decided he'd sign them all, and they sold out in like 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So that is George's signature there.
Nice.
That's a poster for the pachinko machine sitting on top of R2. So then if we come back the way we came, there is all of every figure, toy, and play set in every variation from every year from 82. The only thing I don't have are these sets right here are from Spain, that the figure is the same, but they did a pack in with different accessories, and they're so expensive that I made the decision that I just didn't need them all to effectively replicate, other than they were just changing some of the pack-ins. Down there is things like lunch boxes, wallets, knickknacks like that. And then that's all the figures. When we come around this way, that's every single video game, to my knowledge, ever made in every format, in every size, because they're buried behind each other in every different language that I've ever been able to get each one in, or if it was a reviewer's promo copy or anything like that. Most of the Disney high-end and limited edition statues from either Japan, Walt Disney World, or California, Anaheim. As we come around the corner, we're back to the Japanese area again. And then the area that you were very enthusiastic about, because it'd be mean of me if I didn't show it to you. There we go. Let's open it wide. I don't think they covered it wide. And there is every format of media that has been released on, including VCD, the 8mm, Beta, Super VHS, which was a format that only existed briefly for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And went bye-bye. Beta's sitting next to it. Promo copies, ones with pack-ins that, you know, from Blu-ray or 4K or Steelbooks or whatever. I don't even know where the 8mm. Oh, there they are. Sorry.
Nice.
There's the 8mm. So the idea was, you of course were traveling with your camcorder. It had audio and video outs. You would plug into the hotel TV when you were there, and that way you could watch movies while you were there. It's
kind of like equivalent to Chromecast for Apple TV nowadays.
Yeah. The clothing, which is plentiful there, and it's all organized by either, again, Japan has its own area because it was actually a brand name in Japan. The brand was called IJ and was inspired by Indiana Jones. So that whole area has its own section. After that, they're broken up by movie or by format. Like over here is anything that's, I think that says video game there. Yeah. So that's every shirt that had something to do with video game related for Indiana Jones. All of the drinking cups, every version of every kind, mostly commercial. Occasionally there'll be one that's a fan one and I just like it a lot and I'll get it. There's my Muppet from a friend of mine who,
Oh, nice.
so I have my own Muppet of him, prototypes and things in the glass case. That's the entrance where we came in. And then this cabinet here with the high end stuff or original props used from the film. That thing in black next to so that Blu-ray set doesn't exist. That was what they proposed it should look like, but it didn't. The Sean Connery next to it is actually the special effects little puppet of him when he's in the biplane in Last Crusade. That was screen used. Just those are replicas. Very expensive replica of Harrison's statue that sits, I don't know, it's got to be 2 feet tall. A diorama of Sala throwing down, and if you come down below the shelf, and then of course there's Indy with the rest of it to get pulled up through the hole. A custom of Indy and his dad on the motorcycle in 12-inch size.
I love that. I love that.
One of the 10 models that was used to sell to the Disney executives, that is an exact replica in full 3-dimensional. I can take the glass off and remove the sections. That is the entire ride at Disneyland. And they used this to pitch the idea to get their 30 million to build it back in the 90s. High-end stuff from the anniversary when the ride hit, I want to say 20 years old, I think it was. This was the stuff that was for sale that one night only. More statues and things that were available. My pride and joy, one of the prototype maquettes from ILM of the Ark of the Covenant for the scene at the end when it shoots into the sky when everyone's getting vaporized.
Yeah.
Harrison's hat from Crystal Skull. It is not screen used. It was the backup hat with provenance that I have for it. So trivia for your listeners is that when he's Professor Jones, his fedora is always gray. When he is Indiana Jones, the adventurer, his fedora is always brown. But if you pay attention, anytime that he's in a suit and he's not adventuring, his hat is gray.
Great. Yeah, 100%.
Again, different.
Oh, is that the monkey brain?
Yep.
Nice.
Right there.
Sweet.
A wonderful painting that a guy does that I just thought was fantastic, that obviously paying homage to Norman Rockwell, proposing the first time that Indy takes Short Round off the street and buys him a meal because he's a homeless kid. Right. I just thought it was great. Whip, machete, the Disney poster when the ride first opened. And then, of course, the photo moment that everybody loves is the life-size statue from Germany that was in the DVD stores. When it came to DVD for the first time, there was roughly 300 of these made by a company out of Australia. And this would greet you at the entrance to tell you that, you know, they had it in stock and it was now on DVD for the first time. Everybody has to get their picture taken with that when they visit. Understand? That's why I left it there. I actually only brought it in here to assemble it. It was going to be part of the pre-show, and everybody, because it was still the colder time. Can I get my picture? And they always whisper. I always find that funny, like it's a library. You know, would it be okay if I get my picture? Over here, school supplies, things like that, binders, all of that sort of stuff. Stuff I'm sorting on a chair, a replica of Mutt's sword from Crystal Skull. I always let the little 5-year-old kids whoosh it around, and they absolutely think that's the greatest thing ever. Some prototypes of stuff that didn't get made for toys and otherwise. All the way down in that cabinet, a replica of the Ark of the Covenant, and I think that's the scale to go with 1/6. And then my pride and joy, the library, which is the books, and I can't remember, I want to say something like 15 different languages.
Wow.
I have them in Arabic. I have them in Russian, Chinese, Korean, French, English, German, Russian. Um, you know, this is one of my favorites, especially when I can't even read the language.
That's Hebrew, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So everything is organized by language on the shelves, media kits, that sort of thing. All the laser discs and record albums and that sort of thing are down over here. This is piles of stuff I need to organize from the last 6 months that I'm busy working on. I will let you look outside the door.
Sure.
We're on the second floor. People always forget that because they think that. So there's the theater display as you come up the stairs. So that thing is roughly 5 feet across, 9 feet high. And there's other small displays in that as you're coming in. That's the only place I can show those. And this barn has a rounded ceiling for the real barn. The museum has a flat, but the real one here is that it's a curved barn. And then, I don't know if you can see,
Yeah,
that's the Ark of the Covenant life size down there on your way up the stairs.